All right, good morning, guys. I think I see Mr. Wabbit was in here earlier. I think today is going to be kind of easy. I have a new toy today, which is the MIDI Fighter Twister here, which I'm going to be utilizing a little bit more today. I don't think I'll be doing anything too crazy. I have a little bit of a couple scenes set up, and we're kind of going to play through a little bit, have some drums and stuff, but yeah, I don't know. We'll get going, and if people come in and have questions, just let me know. Otherwise, I don't know. Monday morning, here we go. Hey guys, sounds like maybe there's some audio problems. I'm gonna pull up my phone and check up my side as well. Yep, Mr. Rabbit says it was him. I concur. Alright, so I didn't have too much prepared today, but I just wanted to go over that little bit that I had there. Kind of the main point of today was I have my MIDI Fighter Twister actually working here. And I'll go over and just talk a little bit about that, because I think it's kind of interesting. I'm gonna try and zoom in a little bit on the MIDI Fighter Twister. Hang on. Sorry if it's a little bit grainy here. Okay, so this little guy here is, I think most of you have probably seen it, but it is a 16 continuous rotating potentiometer encoder guy with 16 buttons. And so currently I have the bottom right knob / button hooked up to my microphone, so I can push it and I can talk. And these are mapped to my Bitwig remotes. All right, and I just enable my microphone all the time so I don't have to hold it here for you. All right, Mr. Rabbit says OBS sees what you see. I think we're good. We're zoomed in here. Let me know if you guys can't see it zoomed in. I think we're good. but the remotes here, all of these 8 right here, actually belong to the remotes that I can see in Bitwig, which will look like here in Bitwig. And when I go down here and enable remotes, depending where I'm at, it will enable the remotes that are down here. And of course, I'm in a group right now that you can't actually see any, so let me pull one up that actually has it. Not very helpful if you guys can't see it here. Oh, it's because I'm in a subgroup. I added the microphone last night. This is my bad, guys. Here we go, project remotes. So you can see down here now, I have volume, low pass frequency, volume, and all this kind of stuff. These guys are set up to run the remotes for... Oh, Mr. Wabbit was talking about the zoom on the camera. Yeah, no worries, Mr. Wabbit. I think we're all on the same page here now. Davey the Hug Monster, good morning. By the way, I didn't say hi to you. And Mr. Wabbit, hi again. Davey asked, I tried to set up a zoom in OBS, it didn't work. Yeah, so I'm using the OBS bot Meet 2 cameras, and they have a digital zoom kind of guy that works pretty well. And then the zoom I have for my desktop is actually... I'm capturing the HDMI, and the zoom I'm doing there is actually native on the computer. So I'm not zooming in OBS. It's actually zoom on the DAW side and zoom on the PTZ side from the Meet 2. Back to the remotes on here. So the bottom 8 are actually mapped to my global project remotes, and the top 8 are device remotes. So here I have these guys here, and of course I could, you know, easily map them to something else here. But it makes it so I have easy access to these, and they're color coded: red, orange, green, etc., and they match what I have down here. But the coolest thing ever is that if I move it in the DAW, the actual pots will update down here. So for instance, this is the volume of one of the VSTs right now, and if I move it in the DAW, you can actually see it go up and down, and this is actually automatable and will update in real time and do all sorts of great things right here for continuous feedback of where it is. And as I switch pages and stuff, the continuous rotation guys will update and actually show that correctly as well. So that's like super useful for me. So in this case, I have 2 leads kind of set up with volume, filter, resonance here, and then I have my microphone and my master gain here, so I can turn it down if I'm like clipping in OBS. So those are my global ones. Those will always be there on my global project, and the top ones I can be in the DAW, and depending if I'm in like generate here, I can come in here and add specific ones just for this VST, right? So if I come here and put it to stereo width here, and when we go back here, this guy here will now control the stereo width of that VST. So this thing is super useful and easy to set up. And now if I change devices back here in Bitwig and come up here, and come back over here to a different device, you know, we get a lot more options, but they are color coded and by device, so it's super easy to set up and have nice, I think. And yeah, the PTZ I think works really well. Again, this PTZ is only digital zoom, right? So it's not the best, but it does get by. Yeah, so the MIDI Fighter Twister has a bunch of knobs, you can assign it, and then it has different modes. So if I have, there's like 3 switches on either side, or little press buttons on either side, and they can bring up different modes. Sorry, 1 second, guys. Alright, so we have like mixer mode, so I can actually adjust the actual mix of each track here. And then I have an EQ mode, which on tracks, if I have an EQ device, it'll actually allow me to do EQ by doing like frequency, band, EQ type, gain, and width for each of the filters in the EQ. And then this one's like global parameters where I can like change specific settings like tempo and all that kind of stuff. And then on the right hand side, I have channel strip mode, so I can actually use this here to select individual channels and then change parameters on the channel like volume, pan, and that kind of stuff. And then typically what I'm in is this mode, which is device mode, which has the actual remotes tied to it. And then this is a global user mode where basically I just get 16 CC messages, and again, each of these buttons are actually or knobs are actually buttons as well, so if I press them, you can do it. So like in this mode, I can easily go to the DAW and just say, hey, learn, and move this guy here, and it'll be assigned to something, and super easy just to have VSTs learn or anything else learn and have an easy knob for it. And the other thing I kind of changed up recently too is on the instrument itself. I have another script installed in Bitwig which allows for clip launching. So most of you probably don't know that much about how the instrument works, so I'll zoom in a little bit here. Along the side over here, I have a bunch of soft buttons which bring up like my settings, and I can bring up presets and change the volume and all that kind of stuff. I have 2 custom assignable switches here, and the first switch is actually just assigned to sustain pedal, right? So if I press this, I can actually sustain notes that I'm pressing. And the second one, I've assigned it to a CC message so that in Bitwig it'll pull up a clip launcher. All right, so the clip launcher itself, when I pull up here, looks a little bit complicated because there's a bunch of lights, but basically we have scenes going from top to bottom and clips from left to right. So if we go back over to Bitwig, you can see we have green here going all the way across from all the scenes, and that's just that kind of droney pad on the bottom, and the bass is in yellow and drums are up here in purple, and each of these are in each of these scenes. And so when we look here at the instrument, we have each of the tracks going up and down, and we have scenes going this way. So if I want, I can launch the second scene here by just pressing, and now we're running the drums and the little droney guy, right? And if I want to stop them all, I can just go down on the bottom here, and these are all clip assignable stops. And if I want to start it up again, just press, and good. So it's pretty standard clip launching type stuff, but it's now integrated in the instrument, so I don't have to have like a separate launch pad over the side. I just press a button and I have it up. So I use that along with my Stream Deck over here. My Stream Deck I have set up with scene launching as well. Let me zoom in on that. I'll pull it up for you. All right, so here on the computer, right now we're on my picture-in-picture control setup where I can kind of change where my head is and all that kind of stuff. But if I go down here into my apps and go to scene here, under scene it'll tell me which scene is currently selected, and I can launch next scene or select different tracks here. So this allows me to keep playing on the instrument itself while using my left hand. It allows me to use my left hand here to do like scene switches while I keep on playing, right? So again, I'll show you. So I'm on the scene launcher here, and if I'm playing here, I can just left hand press here, and now we're playing. And I have next scene and previous scene, so I can just hit the next scene button. Or launch individual ones here, right? And again, I can do that via the instrument as well. Again, it kind of flashes saying, hey, I'm on the third one here. And now we're on this guy here. So I think that works really well where I can do left-handed stuff and still have my playability here. And then also, obviously, the MIDI Fighter Twister can be assigned to all the different things. So if you guys have any more questions, it seems like I covered pretty well here about the setup. It also allows for not just clips, but more live looping type setups where I can actually record tracks and play them all that way too as well. I was just kind of messing around last night and kind of got this little groove going, and I thought it was cool. So I thought I'd share it with you guys this morning. Yeah. Oh, hey, Patrick Turner. Good to see you, man. And Pat, are you Pat from work? If it is Pat from work, he'll know what I'm talking about. Okay, so anyway, I think I'll play around a little more. If you guys don't have any more questions, Mr. Rabbits, good to see you. Davey, good to have you here. And everybody else who happened to tune in. Like I said, I was just kind of more excited about getting the MIDI Fighter Twister guide set up and working in Bitwig and kind of getting a flow from the Stream Deck and the MIDI Fighter Twister and the instrument kind of all playing nice in Bitwig, which I think I'm finally getting there. You know, we have easy clip launching either left-handed or via instrument, and lots of control with the MIDI Fighter Twister, so pretty happy, I think. And I think a good example is here on this Korg patch, where I just assigned it to the filter control, and right next to it the resonance. All right, so I'm not gonna bring it down here. I guess I'm gonna build it back up from scratch instead of using the existing clips. So I'll add some bass, some stuff, and kind of talk through what I'm doing here. All right, let me pull up Bitwig for you. Hey, morning, Onyx. All right, so I think what we're gonna do is just kind of delete everything. All right, everything is gone. So what we actually have here from top to bottom is, let me move my head so you guys can actually see a little better. All right, and I've enabled my microphone so we can see it all the time now. Okay, so we have an instance of Easy Drummer, which has a bunch of kind of nice samples here. I had been just going in and using grooves that kind of sounded good just from the stock because I'm lazy, you know? So we can kind of set up our kit and all that kind of stuff, but I think what we want is something a little more low on the energy, so we'll kind of come up here. And we'll just select him. That's cool. So in this case, I'll just drag him onto Bitwig here. And we don't want to include the tempo, but we're going to keep it at 110. All right, now it's playing from the clip launcher. We have our drums. We'll just keep it there for now until I lay down some more bass and stuff. And actually, just so you guys can see a little bit better, this is the Synthwave Edge Pack for Easy Drummer. That just has a lot of good synthy, drummy stuff that's easy to drop in and edit if you want to go crazy. I don't know, there's lots of cool sounds in here. All right, and for bass today, I'm using the Korg MS-20. Which is set up in a preset that I modified a little bit, but just has the space here. So nothing crazy, kind of just your typical kind of bassy guy. And one thing to note is down here on remotes, I do have my device remotes set up for low pass gate and low pass peak, which is kind of like resonance. So when we go back here, on these guys here, I have filter and resonance basically. And because I'm using the instrument, and this is one of the newer Arturia soft synths, it does allow for MPE. So I enabled MPE over here, and it allows me to do like the big glissando and pitch bendy things. Right, so that just makes it kind of keep it there nice and good. The next thing I have is a dark pad, which is down here in a native instrument from Bitwig, and it kind of sounds like this. Kind of just a grungy pad, right? So I'm going to go ahead and record down a little bit of pad here. Alright, we recorded that and I played a little bit too long, so we'll go ahead and shorten it up here in the editor. Okay, I think that'll be good here. And I'm enabling metronome. I don't think that you guys can hear the metronome. It's going through a separate Q mix. All right. All right, so back here, I'm gonna kind of show you how it works with recording a track by using the Stream Deck here. And so in that regard, morning, did I wake him up? Did I wake anybody up? Sorry guys, wife was getting up. I was making sure the twins didn't get woken up. Alright, so back here in Stream Deck, if I Alright, sorry guys. In my Stream Deck here, I have it set up where I can launch clips and scenes. In this case, I'm in clip launch mode, so this will allow me to record clips here. So I can just hit record enable, and then when I press one of these slots, it'll record in the slot in Bitwig. So we can close this so you guys, or I'll put it down in the corner so you guys can see it still. So we're on the bass here. Right, and if I hit the slot 1 here while record is enabled, it'll just record into this guy starting on the measure. So it's pretty nice. And it helps if you quantize it and start it right on the next measure and not a measure ahead. So we'll try this again. And again, I missed my restart there, but that's okay, we'll edit it now. And I'm going to quantize it to eighth notes. And the problem is my pads are actually 15 bars long. All right, I was just thinking about it. Honestly, I wanted to show you guys a little bit more of the live looping, and I didn't really do that. But I think you can see using the Stream Deck here that I can record on there and get it going. I think ideally when I get into January and all that kind of stuff, I'll practice more on my live looping because I think I need to get back into it a little bit more as well. Anyway, I think people are kind of dozing off here because I'm not doing anything too exciting, and that's okay. Like I said, today I just wanted to show the MIDI FIghter Twister, show the little instrument integration along with the Stream Deck, and see how all that is working. It's pretty fun. So anyway, if you guys have any more questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to loop up some stuff. Hey, Thomas. Good to have you here. And yeah, Thomas, the little instrument I think is super awesome. It's one of my favorite controllers. So now I've put the dark pad and my main VST on the same recording slot here. Yeah, that was way more sudden than I thought it would be. Hey, morning, Luca. You're coming in just as I'm completely lost in the sauce here. I had this kind of nice ambient thing going. But the drums, I think, on that last one were a little bit lagging. Or the beat, rather. The little instrument is only a controller, Thomas, so it literally has no sounds on it at all. It all depends on the VST or synth that you plug it into. In this case, the Micro Monster 2 over here is a very good, capable hardware MPE controller, which pairs nicely with the little instrument, which is the main reason I have it. Otherwise, it responds very well to numerous VSTs as well. I will say, Thomas, that MPE in particular is a little bit fiddly in most VSTs, and most VSTs kind of handle it like crap. So you'd have to do pretty good research to find out which VSTs handle MPE like legitimately. There are still quite a few out there that do really great, but there's a lot of out there that just are crap or just don't do it. And by MPE, I'm not talking about like long pitch bends, right? I'm talking about individual control. So I'm talking about individual control for MPE. Right, the individual aftertouch for each one, and of course, individual pitch bend for each one. Yeah, the Micro Monster 2 has a really, really good implementation of MPE, honestly. But when I'm on this like Korg MS plugin here, and you see me doing all the pitch bendy stuff and all that kind of stuff, none of that is actually MPE, right? This could all just be one channel. One channel with aftertouch would do this because it's a mono instance of the plugin. But of course, the instrument is much more than just MPE, right? I mean, just the response of one pad having X, Y, Z and pressure, while people call that MPE, is really just continuous controller messages. MPE being the multiple at one time, which depending on your VST and stuff doesn't actually accept it. But very expressive controller, definitely one of my favorites. I got it last year, almost a year ago, and absolutely love it. And yeah, Synth Seeker, you're absolutely right. Plasmonic VST does have a very good MPE implementation. It is one of my go-to ones for MPE control in DAW. The other one is from Newfangled Audio, which is Generate, which I think does just absolutely superb as well. A lot of the newer Arturia plugins also have MPE, but their MPE implementation's like 80% there. Like it works, but it's still kind of lacking. Mainly in its implementation for simultaneous notes of the same note value. What I mean is, if we have one note here, I can actually play this in numerous places. right? And if I play it here in the generate plugin, which is what I'm in right now, they don't cut off. But in the Arturia land, if I have two note on messages of the same message and I let go of one, it'll cut off the other one. So it's not truly MPE compatible because you can't have simultaneous notes of the same note message, which is not horrible thing to deal with, but it is something that is wrong with their MPE implementation. So in this case, like an octave apart. And I can play both notes simultaneously. And the Micro Monster 2 does that really well, and a host of other VSTs as well, but the Arturia ones fail to do that right. And yeah, Thomas, I mean, MPE is MIDI, right? It's just a set of ideas for MIDI that all kind of play well together. In that regard, I think MIDI is super awesome, and I wish for MIDI 2.0 they kind of went in a different way, but it is usable in that way. I wish they had basically made a MIDI 1.5, which was like USB 1, but like 20 times the speed, so you didn't have to worry about like dropping notes as much and all that kind of stuff, and just keep it compatible with ones that requested it. Just like, oh, baud rate? Here, let's put it up to a bajillion baud rate, right? Like, that would be awesome. But we're stuck here, and it works, but yeah. Oh, and we are going past my hour mark here, and I have people in my house waking up. So if you guys have any last questions or anything, let me know. Otherwise, I'll probably be getting off here soon. And like I said, today was mainly to kind of go over the MIDI Fighter Twister in the setup, which I think is, excuse me, which I think is pairing very nicely. Between the MIDI Fighter Twister, the Stream Deck, and the Linstrument, I'm pretty much covered in all the twisty knobbies and lights and button pushy thingies, I think, at least for now. The continuous rotation and instant feedback that pairs with Bitwig, I think, was a major game changer in control. I have a lot of like slidey controls and stuff, and they weren't great, but the problem is when you go around to different tracks or different devices that they don't update. And the continuous rotation guys with the LED ring solve all those problems. So 100% recommend if you're looking for any kind of knob controller that you go with this. Luke asks of the bed playing behind how much is modular and how much is in the box. In this case, this is all in the box. Today, I did not set up any modular. So this is a combination of Arturia Korg MS-20 and polysynth native synths in Bitwig. The droney guy right now is all just the native Bitwig polysynth, just with some simple modulations. It was a preset that I had just kind of modified a little bit to be a little more grungier. But yeah, today was all in the box. Yeah, mainly because I was trying to focus on the MIDI Fighter Twister and how that implements. One of the cool things actually is I can assign these knobs to come out of my ES9 and actually control CV with it too. So in that regard, I am looking forward to in the future doing a bunch of mappings from this guy and the button pressing here on each of the knobs and assign that to modular stuff, and I think that'll turn out really well. But yeah, today was just getting more comfortable and playing with the MIDI Fighter Twister in regards to DAW control. Yeah. All right, in that regard, thank you guys for stopping by. I know it's early for many of you, and yeah, I'll try to do these once a week on Monday morning. Obviously, life can get in the way, and generally after our group jams on Sunday, I'll probably skip Monday. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. So thanks for stopping by, guys, and hope to see you next time. See you around on all the other live streams and such. Thanks for coming over. Thomas, thanks for coming. Yeah, and sorry for saying so much. My wife gets on me about that. And I should probably be better about increasing my head size when talking so you guys can actually see